When you guys met, wasn't it a blind date?
It was a blind date.
I recall just walking down the street, trying to escape the city heat. I saw her from the corner of my eye. Yeah, she looked so good I thought I'd die. My heart went bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, bang. My heart went bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, bang. Something said I shouldn't waste no time if I'm ever gonna make her mine. I walked right up and said, how do you do? She said, I'll bet I do as good as you. My heart went bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, bang. My heart went bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, bang. I remember when I held her tight, bang, shang, lang. Felt like holding dynamite now, bang, shang, lang. What's that ringing in my ear, bang, shang, lang? Tell me ain't those bells I hear, bang, shang, lang. Bang, bang, shang, lang, bang, bang, shang, lang, bang, 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 shang, lang, lang, bang, 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 shang, lang, lang. Now she's gonna spend her life with me, and we'll be as happy as can be. 'Cause I love her more than I can tell. Sunday afternoon we'll hear the bells, and they'll go bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, bang. Oh, they'll go bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, bang. Bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, shang, lang, bang, bang. Bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, bang, shang, lang, shang, lang.
It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it slowly. You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to go through. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me, I'm old but I'm happy. 'Cause I was once like you are now. 'Cause I know it's not easy to be calm when you found something going on. Take your time, take a lot, think of everything you got. We'll still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may die.
I cannot try to explain, 'cause when I do it turns away again. It's always been the same old story. From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen his way. And I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go.
It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it slowly. You're still young, it's your fault. There's so much you have to go through. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me, I am old but I'm happy.
All the time that I've cried, keeping all the things I knew inside. It's hard, but it's harder to ignore it. If they were right, I'd agree, but it's sending on me. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away. I know I have to go.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share. No one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. And the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, the tenement halls, whispered the sounds of silence.
So my wife and I married in '53, and we were living, she was a teacher, and we were living in Victoria at the time in an upstairs suite in my parents' place. My wife became pregnant and we had a child. And so when that happened, my wife particularly got homesick to be home near her mother, I would suspect. I phoned her dad to see if there was lots of work here, and he said, yes, there's lots of work in Naramata. So that was his problem, because then he was responsible for us coming.
I just wanted to come home, and that's exactly what we did. And fortunately, Stu was ready to come. So there you go, right there. We came home and never left.
My father-in-law, because he felt responsible for us coming here, had to find me work, and he did. He found me a job in the Naramata Co-op. He was president of the co-op at the time. So he got me a job dumping apples on the grader. So anyway, there I was working there. That lasted for a few months. And then when I came away from there, I tried to find work around the valley, and there just wasn't any work anywhere. I just hiked all over the place, took from Oliver down to Kelowna, to everywhere, and nothing showed up. So then, and my father-in-law, again feeling responsible, realized that there was a guy in town who had hauled for the Naramata Co-op, and his name was Doug Hill, D.H. Hill, and he wanted to sell. So my father-in-law figured that out. He said to me, if you're interested in buying it, then you can, I'll finance you and you can pay me back as you do. And so that's what happened. Along with it came this building, which I moved into because my father-in-law built living quarters in there. And it had 3 coal bins and 2 big doors on it, so I could actually back a dump truck in there and dump some coal into it. That's the way you stored it.
Inside of our kitchen, we had to weigh the coal. So we had the scales right in the kitchen part, right next to the fridge. And that's where I spent most of my time, either weighing coal or looking after kids.
And so there we were in business. And that was the start of S.J. Berry Trucking.
It was half coal bin, half house, so you could just imagine how dusty it might have been in that house. As kids, we didn't really realize how dirty it was, but there was an old chute that shot the coal down in half the house, and so we lived in the other half. The rest of the yard was old beams and old junk and trucks, and it was a great playground for a kid, but it was a bit of a mess of a yard, I'm sure.
The strangeness of the industry, though, the fact that it was only a seasonal, very difficult, and me being brand new. And at the time we were hauling, everything was on boxes. We did fruit pickup, as I say. We'd go around and pick up the boxes. And it would change depending on what season it was. There'd be cherries, and then there'd be peaches, and then there'd be pears and apples. And that was only seasonal. So we'd get that done in the fall, summer to fall. And so that's why you had to have other businesses like the coal business.
I had this one ledger, and every time we sold a sack of coal, I had to write it in the book, $1. And that was my job, and it was a really big job too. Right, Stu? I knew nothing about keeping books and didn't do a very good job, but we managed to survive.
Some of the gross things you had to do just to make a buck. And I usually got about $8 a load for a load of 3 cords of this slab wood that I got from Lear's sawmill, which in Penticton. You know, I was started out by myself, but in short order, Ted came along and we got together and combined our individual assets. And there we were with 2 fruit trucks, and out of 3 for Naramata, and we purchased the 3rd truck. And so then we had all 3 fruit trucks.
Trucking industry was in my blood, and I loved trucks. I liked to drive and enjoyed looking after them and this kind of thing. Spent some time working for Elliott Brothers up behind Paradise Ranch there, up towards Shoot Lake, in a logging operation. And I had a nice pickup that I traded some guy for a TD-15 and proceeded to skid logs for a number of years, and did other jobs in the logging operation up there. As that era changed, the logs ran out, and we ended up sitting down in Naramata with a bulldozer and no work for it. Decided that Stu had made the right decisions and bought a fruit truck just as he did.
I was working at the Naramata garage doing my apprenticeship because I just got finished trade school, and I worked for a fellow by the name of Jack Buckley. And because I was on the apprenticeship program, I knew I was going to get laid off because Naramata is pretty quiet in the winter. Stu came in one day and said, do you know any young fellows that might be interested in hauling some coal? And I said, yeah, I think I do. And he said, well, who? And I said, well, I think I would. And he kind of did a double take and kind of said, are you sure? And so that's how it started. I started hauling coal from the boxcars that used to come in on the barge into Naramata. And so that's how I started, way back in about 1960, I believe it was, something like that.
We had a kind of a scoop shovel with 2 wheels on it, and we'd kind of wheel it off the back of the truck with that into the customer's coal bin, and sometimes just plain old shovel.
So the school bus came for sale, and I purchased it and operated it for a year or 2 before Stu and I got together, and found that that was the savior of the trucking business as far as I was concerned, as a regular income from school busing.
Actually, when Ted came into the business, he knew more about trucking than I would ever know, because I just learned it. And I was with flatbed 3-ton trucks.
We got together and kept going. So we moved to Penticton. We bought Carter Brothers. They had an office on Martin Street and parking for their buses.
They had about 5 buses, school buses, and so we had now then 6 school buses.
'Cause he gets up in the morning and he goes to work at 9, and he comes back home at 5:30, gets the same train every time. 'Cause his world is built on punctuality, it never fails. And he's all so good, and he's all so fine, and he's all so healthy in his body and his mind. He's a well-respected man about town, doing the best things so conservatively. And his mother goes to meetings while his father pulls a maid, and she stirs the tea with councillors while discussing foreign trade. And she passes looks as well as bills at every suave young man. 'Cause he's all so good, and he's all so fine, and he's all so healthy in his body and his mind. He's a well-respected man about town, doing the best things so conservatively. And he likes his own back likes his fags the best, 'cause he's better than the rest. And his own sweat smells the best, and he hopes to grab his father's root when fate would pass his on. 'Cause he's all so good, and he's all so fine, and he's all so healthy in his body and his mind. He's a well-respected man about town, doing the best thing so conservatively. And he plays a salty sharp, and he goes to the regatta. He adores the girl next door, 'cause he's dying to get at her. But his mother knows the best about the matrimonial stakes, 'cause he's all so good, and he's all so fine, and he's all so healthy in his body and his mind. He's a well-respected man about town, doing the best thing so conservatively.
Smiles we give to one another for the way we were. Can it be that we've all so simple then? Or has life rewritten every line? If we had a chance to do it all again, tell me, could we memories maybe beautiful and yet oh so painful to remember? We simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember whenever we remember the way we were.
My gift is my song. My gift is my song. And this one's for you. And you can tell everybody that this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is. Now you're in the world. Sat on the roof and I kicked off the moss. Well, some of these forces, well, they got me quite cross. But the sun's been kind while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for getting, but these things I do, you see, I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. But well, the thing is, what I really mean, yours got the sweetest eyes I've ever that I put down in words. How wonderful life is. Now you're in